Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we have my Week 11 NFL Power Rankings. So, going over last week's rankings and what those teams did in Week 10. Last week, at number 10, I had the Jets. They were on a bye. 9 was the Dolphins. They destroyed the Browns 39-17. 8 was the Giants. They beat the Texans 24-16. 7 was the Seahawks. They lost to the Buccaneers in Germany 21-16. 6 was the Cowboys. They lost to the Packers 31-28 in overtime. 5 was the Ravens. They were on a bye. 4 was the Vikings. They beat the Bills in a thriller, winning 33-30 in overtime. 3 was the Bills. They lost to the Vikings 33-30 in overtime. 2 was the Chiefs. They beat the Jaguars 27-17. And 1 was the Eagles, who suffered their first loss this season, losing to the Commanders on Monday Night Football, losing 32-21. So this week's rankings, at number 10, I'm going to go with the Jets. So I decided to keep them there at 10, but I also thought about having the 49ers or Seahawks here. But both will be just outside my top 10 at 10 and 11. 11 and 12. But the Jets remain at number 10. Up next for the Jets is the Patriots in New England. 9 is the Titans. They re-enter my top 10 after their win over the Broncos. The return of Ryan Tannehill really helped them get the win because the passing game got going and Derrick Henry was shut down by the Broncos defense. And the Titans defense had a great performance, only giving up 10 points despite being out without some key players. The Titans also have a huge lead in the AFC South, with their record being 6-3, and the next closest team being the Colts at 4-5-1. So the Titans come in at number 9. Number 8 is the Cowboys. They fall to number 8 after their overtime loss to the Packers in Mike McCarthy's return to Green Bay. The Cowboys defense wasn't great, allowing 31 points to a Packers offense that had been essentially non-existent in previous weeks. Now, the Cowboys don't have time to have another decent performance because they have a really tough game next week against the Vikings, and ideally the Cowboys would not want to fall to 6-4. 7 is the Giants. They move up one spot after their win over the Texans. It wasn't a blowout, but that's not the type of team the Giants are. They're going to play a close game no matter who it is. It could be a terrible team like the Texans or a great team. They're going to make it a close game. The Giants also have NFL rushing leader Saquon Barkley, who's almost at 1,000 yards so far at 931, and he's been a big reason of their success so far. So the Giants come in at number 7. Number 6 is the Dolphins. They had another tremendous performance against the Browns. They've won 4 straight. Nobody can seem to contain their explosive offense. Tyreek Hill leads the NFL in receiving yards with over 1,100 receiving yards so far. Tua has looked like an MVP candidate, and the offense has been a big reason why they've looked so good, as they put up almost 40 points again this week against the Browns. So the Dolphins enter at number 6. Number 5 is the Ravens. They were on a bye. Up next for Baltimore is the Panthers. 4 is the Bills. They fall from number 3 to number 4 after their loss to the Vikings. Josh Allen made several costly mistakes, including a huge fumble in the end zone and a game-sealing interception. The defense also gave up some big plays, so now the Bills really need to bounce back next week against the Browns so they avoid losing a third straight. But the Bills only fall one spot because they lost in overtime to a very, very good team, and the Bills come in at number 4. Number 3 is the Eagles. They fall to number 3 after suffering their first loss of the season on Monday Night Football, where they lost to the Commanders 32-21. They had 3 turnovers that game, which tied their season total coming into the game. And the Eagles are still one of the top teams in the NFC, but after their loss, they fall from number 1 to number 3. Number 2 is the Chiefs. They remain at number 2 after their win over the Jaguars. Patrick Mahomes had another great game with 4 total touchdowns, and Kadarius Toney is going to be a great player in Kansas City, as they already figured out how to use him, getting the ball into his hands several different ways, as he had 33 rushing yards, 57 receiving yards, and 11 yards on punt returns. And he only adds to the Chiefs' dangerous pass catchers. And now I thought about the Chiefs moving up to number 1, but I decided to keep them at number 2, and my number 1 team is the Vikings. So they go from 4 to number 1 after their big win over the Bills. I could definitely see the argument for Chiefs at 1, Vikings at 2, but I decided to go Vikings at 1. They beat the Bills in an amazing game, and they showed that they are a truly elite team, defeating another elite team. And they played one of the best games of the season, or the best game of the season so far. It might be the game of the year once the season ends. Justin Jefferson had a great game. He had almost 200 receiving yards and made an unbelievable catch on 4th and 18 to keep the Vikings in the game. So those are my Week 11 NFL power rankings. Vikings come in at number 1, Chiefs at 2, Eagles at 3, Bills at 4, and then Ravens at 5. That's the top 5. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I do my best to post as often as possible. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. If there's something you would change, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of their upcoming videos. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.